2 of this morning. Minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock. It was at 12 noon to 2 o'clock this afternoon. And I did an editorial back then in the afternoon. And this evening I decide to do a part 2 after receiving positive response from many of you, the listening public outside there. It sends a message that the people outside there, they are learning and they are listening attentively. I know yesterday when Winston Peters, Gypsy Peters, gyrated, levitated, and oscillated on the microphone, being buttressed and supported by those who only want to hear anything negative against the Prime Minister. But let me tell citizens of the Republic, such was short-lived. It was born yesterday, and sadly, people, the Gypsy momentum died yesterday. Because Gypsy has absolutely nothing to offer to the citizens of this country. This is a man whose only policy, whose main agenda is that Gypsy must come first in everything. And when I mentioned this afternoon that Gypsy behave as if he has the deed for Mayao, the people and the citizens of this country have come to realize that Gypsy have short-lived his little outburst yesterday. You see, when he came to the podium, the media houses run down there, some trip and fell over people because they want to get the news. But today, the Gypsy phenomenon has not caused any great impact. But what it has done have caused members within the PNM party to see the level of dishonesty coming from the bareback leader. And it is on this note I wish to start. I want the bareback leader. Yes, you, Rowley, the bareback leader. The man with the erect nipples. Now you would notice I have not said nipple, but nipples on his chest. The bareback leader. And I want citizens of the Republic to listen. Barry Garcia, Gemini. It was last Friday. I don't know if any of you would recall. It was last Friday. 4 teenage boys. 4 teenage boys rape, gang rape a teenage girl. I only hope the bareback man and the bareback leader listening. Bareback man Rowley. 4 teenage boys rape, gang rape a teenage girl. Now that girl, Barry, was 14 years old. 14 years old. According to the alleged stories, these 4 teenage boys allegedly raped a teenage girl who was standing near the shoreline of Hatter's Panyard. No, you know spot Hatter's Panyard is, Barry?
Yeah.
In South?
Yeah.
And this girl was standing...
That's just next to the road, I'll say.
All right, okay. Yeah. Well, you know down there. And after 6 p.m., when she was attacked, that teenage girl was dragged onto the beach. And the teenagers took turn in raping the girl. The 4 teenage boys took turn in raping that teenage girl. Yes, bareback, Rowley. The girl then made a report to the San Fernando police station. She was taken to the San Fernando General Hospital where she was medically examined. It was confirmed that she had been sexually assaulted, Barry. That teenage girl was sexually assaulted. I want the bareback leader to hear it. Yes, you, Rowley. I want you to hear it. And I have reason why I want you to hear it. And I will tell you why I want you to hear it. Barry, Gemini, and citizens of the Republic. This thing happened last Friday. 60 years, or let's say 40 years from now, or 50 years from now, or 60 years from now, one of those teenage boys have ambition to become the country's next prime minister. One of the boys who gang rape, sexually assaulted that teenage girl who is scarred for life. Because there's no way she can remove that damage. That teenage girl is scarred for life. 4 teenage boys who gang rape a 14-year-old girl. And I'm speaking about 40 years from now, or 50 years from now, or 60 years from now, one of those guys, one of those teenagers that gang raped the school girl or the teenage girl wish to become the country's next prime minister. The schoolgirl who is scarred for life. I want you, bareback Rowley, to answer this simple question. Should we, the citizens, vote for any of those teenage boys that have been alleged to have raped the 14-year-old schoolgirl? If any one of those boys show no remorse but wish to become the country's next prime minister, I want Bareback Rowley to tell us whether the citizens of this country should vote for either of them if they are found guilty of raping that teenage girl. Now, in the bareback man's case, Rowley's case, let me discuss a history of Rowley's case. In 1981, the bareback man offered himself up as a candidate for Tobago West. At that time, he had a son called Gat Allen. Only the people in Tobago knew that Rowley had a son called Gat Allen. Am I lying on you, Rowley? Yes, you I'm talking about. The bareback leader. You, bareback leader, you also had sex with a teenage girl. Strange enough, you was not a teenage boy. You was an adult. You already passed the age of 18 years. You was an adult. And you, Rowley, bareback Rowley, bareback leader, you also had sex with a teenage girl. You had sexual intercourse with a teenage girl. And Franklin Khan, Christine Kangaloo, the Mount platform after platform, and they talk about the history of Rowley, his academic background. But on that platform, the same Rowley, the same bareback leader who boasts and tell people that his life is an open book. They don't tell you about Garth Allen. They don't give you the background that this same man who wants to be our next prime minister had sex with a teenage girl. Now, what I have drawn here is to try to show people the level of hypocrisy. Barry, Gemini, I am absolutely sure that those 4 guys who gang rape that teenage girl would be condemned for their actions. And I'm absolutely sure they would be charged for the alleged crime.
They have been. They are before the. They are presently before the court.
Yes. Now, they call on radio stations. They make pronouncements on radio station. But when it comes to the issue of this leader, this bareback leader who had sexual intercourse with a teenager, a teenage girl, how in God's mind, on God's earth, can we say to give Rowley a chance to be our prime minister? I mean to say, Barry, how can we condone? No, I mean to say, we need to know whether the bareback man had shown any remorse over the years.
What remorse he could show over the years, and he have even acknowledged Garth as
that what he did to a teenage girl, being an elder man, an older man, the act of having sex with a teenage girl, did he show any remorse? Has he shown any remorse, Barry?
No, Cardo, because to date he has not come out publicly and said Garth Allen is my son.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'm wondering if Kamil is the mother and Faisal or is the father of Garth Allen, because they are the only 2 that came out and tell you about Dr. Rowley have a son.
And the thing about it is that to this day, wait. Just now, I do not think that they have amended or altered the brief bio of Dr. Kid Rowley, the bareback leader, on the internet.
No, they have not.
They have not included Garth Allen at all.
That is why I asked the question, Ricardo. Do you have other children beside your 2 daughters?
Yeah.
And if so, you need to tell the public, because you said that your life is an open book. As you also stated that when you come into the political arena, you must come with clean hands, and once you're in your political arena, you're entitled to be questioned by any citizen of the country, because you are managing their affairs.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Rowley, what I need to know from you is, do you or have any other children besides your 2 daughters?
In a nutshell, all is still waiting to get that answer. All you could plead, come and just say it over and over. The man is not going to come out and say anything. And that's it then.
So then he's a consummate liar then?
Well, it would have to be that way.
Well, I say because I have plenty evidence that the man have lied on many occasions. Understand? But let me read this part here. Let me read a quotation from Rowley. Rowley stated, "It is quite possible when you're in public life that people will make allegations against you. Some allegations are serious, some are trivial, and some can be dismissed out of hand immediately because they are so outlandish and outrageous, and others require either an investigation, but they are all require a response from the public officer who the allegation is made, Barry. To this day, this man who aspires to be the country's next prime minister,
This bareback man.
the bareback leader, who aspires to be the country's next prime minister, who claim that his life is an open book. For some reason, he disclosed the book when it comes to him having sex with a teenage girl. Why it is he does not want to? I mean, but by the way, you watch the interview with him and Julian Rogers?
No.
Well, I saw just piece of it.
Yeah.
I just saw piece of it. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing. But when I go home tonight,
Because I didn't see it up to now, and I'm wondering if anybody saw it. If they could enlighten the Gladiator as to whether Julian Rogers posed a question to him about his sexual relationship with a teenage girl. Otherwise, that interview was stage managed.
no, they wouldn't ask that. I doubt that.
Yeah?
It was stage managed because they say it happened 4 months ago.
I sure 100% he ain't
Julian
going.
Rogers is stating that the interview took place 4 months ago.
What, that interview there?
Yeah,
But by the way, but by the way,
And it was to show a different side, the different side of Keith Rowley.
but by the way, how much money did they pay Julian Rogers?
To do that interview?
Yeah, I wonder how much, because you know they make a big
issue
hullabaloo about
with
Aisha
Aisha.
Welch
Yeah.
collecting $10,000.
So we want to know now how much he collect.
How much money he collect?
Well, I know they pay.
Because you know they have eyes for when it's poor people. Understand? Anybody
I know
from behind the bridge.
I know they bring a man and pay him 50,000 US to cost the PNM.
Yeah.
To say that in the last.
To cost the PNM, no, to cost the Prime Minister.
No, it cost the PNM. They're so damn stupid.
Yeah, I
the
know.
man said for the last 20 years, right? Business have been closing down by people have been losing job by the thousands. And out of the last 20 years, okay, business has been closing by the 100. People living in poverty, nation warring against, region warring against region. The last 20 years,
Not
that has
informed.
been,
Not informed.
right? Last 20 years. But for the last 15 out of the 20, it was PNM in government, so it's PNM cussing and blaming for what going on. They're so damn stupid, they even understand that the man insult them, and the body, yay!
Yeah, and everybody
Name
jump up.
Compooks and them.
Now, the question I want to pose to the listening public outside there. Now, I read about the 4 boys or the 4 teenage boys who allegedly gang rape a teenage girl. And the question we are posing to them, if 60, 50 years down the road, one of those guys want to be the Prime Minister of this country, and they have shown no remorse, they have asked for no forgiveness, nothing whatsoever, Barry, should we endorse that person? Should we vote for that person to be the country's next Prime Minister?
My answer on that, no.
Both of the lines.
Right? So the lines are open. 6229154
628 1158.
1158. That's the question we are posing.
718-874-3860.
Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Gladys.
Good evening to you.
Gladys, but and the woman said she was not raped, Gladys.
I'm speak warrior. Last week Friday, warrior.
I'm familiar with the story that Gladys
Right.
when they raped the girl, the
Yeah,
four guys.
the school girl. And the question, warrior, if one of those guys who allegedly gang raped the school girl, 60 years down the road, wants to be the country's Prime Minister, and they have shown no remorse, should we allow that person to become the country's next Prime Minister?
But definitely not, Gladys. You know that.
Thank you, warrior. And that's what we want to know. We want to find out from the public. Good evening, caller. Good evening.
Gladys,
Yes, good evening.
I mean, look where you going.
Look, good evening, caller.
You're sure.
Good evening, caller.
Gladys.
Yeah. That's what we want to know. whether you will condone it, whether the people will condone it.
God, just to remind you,
Because
yes, no remorse,
because this girl is scarred for life. Barry, the girl is scarred for life. Good evening, caller.
Husband and wife.
You see, people not understanding that you are drawing the analogy and the parallel, doing a comparative analysis is because
the point, Barry,
the point you're making is that the point is that you want to let them know that when you come into the political arena, come with clean hands.
And the point I'm making is that we do not know whether Rowley, the bareback leader, have shown any remorse for having sex with a teenage girl.
Well, how could you say that?
We do not know.
But you have never shown it, Gladi.
To this day, we do not know.
To this day, Gladiator, and to the wider public of Trinidad and Tobago, the man has not even come forward and acknowledged Gat Allen as his son.
And that's why we have to go to the public. Good evening, caller. Good evening, caller. Good evening, caller. Not there. Good evening, caller.
Where am I?
Good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Good evening, caller.
You're eating.
No, I find you just cut them off too quick. I want them to continue to make an ass of themselves.
No, Barry. No, Barry. We are engaging in a construct because what they are saying, it is right.
They accepted it, you know.
It is right for
by their
people.
Yes, by their behaviors, they accept it.
It is right for
unlawfulness.
It is right for people to gang rape school girls. It is right. It is right to impregnate them, scar them for life. Understand? But the public must know that the bareback leader had sex with a teenage girl.
And you feel them care about it? Them like it just so? Them like it just so? Them don't want no changes?
Well, I am going to expose it. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Bongo.
Good evening, caller. Good evening, caller. Good evening, caller.
Good evening. No, we would not. And I want to tell you something, Gladiator Barry. You know what's similar to the Tobago story? That was hello.
Yes, we listen to you.
That was for members that the young boys who gang raped. But the story in Tobago, it was the same amount of person who was supposed to have this with the lady in Charlotte, but she didn't know.
Thank you. Good evening, caller. Good evening. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Gladiator and the panel.
Yeah, good evening.
Absolutely not. Right? They must ask for forgiveness first, and then we will forgive them. And at least they should ask the victim for forgiveness.
And that is the whole thing about it.
Simple
Look how
question.
simple that is.
Simple answer.
That's right.
Look how simple that is.
Answer.
Good evening, caller.
Good afternoon, Gladiator.
Good evening.
We should look up all our little girls from Canada.
Good evening, caller.
Yeah, hi, Gladiator. Are you good? I don't think that we can compare the two instances because...
No, I mean to say...
The question fly over his head. So you need to ask him
why you can't compare it?
No, well, the question flew over his head. He didn't understand the question.
He missed it.
He missed part of it. He put on the radio late.
You see, the whole thing about it is whether we like it or not, jump high, jump low, we have to face the reality. You watch this man on a platform. You stare him down, you watch him. And this man, he sweats on a platform. He condemns, he levy allegations upon allegation against people. But this man has a dark past.
Extremely dark past.
And Dr. Rowley, or the bareback leader, he cannot sue anybody for it. Because it is a fact. It is gospel truth. Rowley had sex with a teenage girl. We want to know whether he had any remorse in having sex with a teenage girl, impregnate a teenage girl. Now, Barry, we don't know if this girl is going to be pregnant down the road. We don't know. This girl who was gang raped last week, Friday. But let's clear the lines here. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Barry. Good evening, Gladiator.
Yes.
The thing is about this is the perpetrators of the crime will never be able to run for government any kind of office after the second term of Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you. In America, a thing like that, you think if Barack Obama
Had a dark past, he could have run for president.
had sex with a teenage girl, could have offered himself to run for office? I mean, it's in America, there's a term what they call sex offenders, Barry. I do not know if you all know about it.
Yeah.
Every sex offender that had sex with an underage child in America cannot hold public office at all.
No time, no day.
They cannot hold public office, Barry. Whether we like it or not. They cannot hold public office. Barack Obama, if he had sex with a teenage girl,
Being an adult,
he
he could not have held public office.
he could not have offered himself for public office. And we have to expose it. Good evening, caller. Good evening, caller.
Yes, Mr. Gladiator. With all these bathrooms that hanging over the opposition leader head, we know what is going to bathroom as a prime minister in this country. So that is why Ms. Kamala Prasad will be the next prime minister of this country in 2015, and she's going to win.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, caller. Good evening, caller.
Be voting.
Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Gladiator.
Good evening.
Gladiator, hear this. I would like you, Miss.
Good evening, caller.
Ready, ma?
I sure all like how I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I sure you like how I'm doing it.
And once I get to recognize the truth hurts. The truth hurts.
Not the truth hurts, you know. Dr. Rowley does not want to be scrutinized.
He doesn't want to be scrutinized, but
And he wants to go on a platform and say anything about anybody.
But
And nobody must say nothing about it.
But the man is lying to the public and saying that his life is an open book.
Well,
And I'm taking him to task for that.
Well, we're not seeing that.
Yeah, but it is an open book with some missing pages.
I'm gonna say-
somebody tear it out.
Some pages missing.
Barry, we are look. I have the papers here.
In black and white.
Yes, girl rape, 4 boys arrested. Look at it in the papers here.
Yeah.
What date you see on that papers here? Is it the Express?
Let me see.
What date you see on that paper? Because they say Gladiator line.
24th of August 2015.
You sure you seen that?
Positively.
And you see,
And this was Monday.
And you think about it, Barry. Every living day, they call on radio and they say, "Let us pray.
Let us pray.
Let us pray."
Let us pray.
Yeah.
Mr. Costa
And
Rica,
then, yes.
friends.
And they want to pray for a bareback leader who we do not know if he showed any remorse for having sex with a teenage girl. And he is not married to Rosalind Allen at all. He's not.
But he have not even, and what is even worse, Gladiator, to date, Dr. Rowley has not publicly acknowledged Garth Allen as his son.
No,
Let's go to the lines here.
He wouldn't do that at all.
Good evening, caller. 10 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. And we go back to the lines. And all what we are asking, Barry, the reality is, Barry, we are not libeling the bareback leader. We are not slandering the bareback leader.
No.
The bareback leader had sex with a teenage girl by the name of Rosalind Allen when she was a teenage girl.
And not only that, he was a teacher at the very said school.
Well, I don't know if he was still a teacher.
And it is alleged that he was the dean of discipline.
All right, but I don't know if he was still a teacher when he had sex with a teenage girl.
Then why?
And what I'm saying, Barry, this girl last week Friday is the daughter of someone. The girl was gang raped.
Yeah.
She is the daughter of a mommy and a daddy.
But
And
strange.
4 boys, they drag her. I mean, try to understand that.
But strange enough, how come the Women's League has never made any press release or even stand up and speak out against violence against young girls and little boys? How come the Women's League are so silent on these matters?
Them don't have time for that.
How come the Women's League and the People's National Movement has never come out and support any movement against violence against women in this country under this present leadership? Is it that is a new PNM that we are seeing? Is it that is a norm and is an acceptable fact to be abusive to women in this country? Is that what the PNM is setting? The PNM is setting for this country?
You have to remember also, Barry, we're always a kind of thin-skinned kind of person, you know.
Well, then you're in the wrong job, Gladiator.
And to border...
I ain't taking that. If you're thin-skinned, you're in the wrong job, resign and go.
Right.
You have to be brought back. You have to be brought back, and you must have skin tough as a crocodile to be in this job, because politics is not for the weak or the faint-hearted, and you must never take anything personal when you are under scrutiny. And once you're in the political arena, you got to come with clean hands.
Because, Barry, what we do, and callers, we coming to you just now because all the lines are later. Barry, what we do know...
Vladimir, if we should take no more call, I find them people too disrespectful. You know?
No, but you have to remember it have other people who wants to make a contribution.
Yeah, but I
say loud them.
I think they're doing a disservice to this station, especially they're doing a disservice to Iowa, who is a prominent big black businessman.
Is it PNM people doing that?
Is the PNM people doing that?
Yes.
Well, then there is more reason for me to tell them don't vote PNM in this election, because if that is all your conduct while only in opposition, cussing people for
nothing constructive, nothing at all.
They don't want to know the truth about their leader. Good evening, caller.
Hi, good day, Glady. Good day, Barry. Good day, everyone in this studio.
Hey, good day.
I'm not like one of those people who call it and carrying on in a terrible manner, Glady. We see what Dr. Rowley needs to understand. Whatever you do in the dark, just come to the light. You know, and this is what people, especially young people, need to know. Whatever you do now could come back to bite you 10, 20, 15 years down the road. Right? So I think nowhere in the world this type of behavior would have been accepted. Only in Trinidad. And you have a set of, I don't know what to call them, calling the radio station and getting on, like, you know, this man was sent from heaven. Yeah. He was not.
You see, they don't want the public to know that this man who does talk rough on a platform, watching them on TV, they know. Yeah. Understand? That man
he had nobody asking no question.
Yeah.
He was the right on one question for Julian Rogers. Ask me this, nothing else.
But you know, family, I want to know how much money they paid Julian Rogers,
that's the next thing. And they make a big fuss. I shall get $10,000.
Yes.
10,000 she never received yet, eh?
Yes,
she yet to get it.
Find too much, you know why? I shall black.
Yes.
So she 10,000 is too much for she.
Money must be only.
Thank you, caller.
Yeah, only Andrew Gabriel and them must get money.
Yeah. So the young lady who have bills and things to pay, she mustn't get no money at all.
And you must lie down and beg for a plate of food and smell like a pig.
Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Gladiator and the panel.
Bellman, the question is, those guys, and you read, well, you a man would read the papers. Last week Friday, 4 teenage boys drag a teenage girl, drag her to the beach. Oh my God! And they gang rape her one after the next. And all I'm simply asking, if 40, 50, 60 years down the road, one of those same young boys who gang raped the girl wants to be our country's next prime minister, but have shown no remorse for the act that they have committed because that girl is scarred for the entire life. Should we allow that person to be our country's next prime minister? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, did you hear me? Whether they show remorse or not, I say no. And I'm going to tell you why.
You go ahead, you tell us.
50 years from now, check that same lady who was, because she wouldn't be a girl anymore.
Yeah, she wouldn't be a girl.
Check that same lady and see her condition. If she's not there, check her brother or sister or children.
Yes.
And you will know the result of what that was done. So that whether they show remorse or not, people must know there's a consequence for it, whatever they do. I say no.
Thank you. And you know, Barry, whenever the village hear that he was gang rape, everybody in the village who are perverts, who are perverts, they want a piece of your flesh, you know. They want a pound of your flesh.
Oh my gosh.
And your name all by the parlor.
All in the toilets.
All by the standpipe.
All in the toilets, in the washrooms.
And your name mark up all inside the school toilet. Yeah. And you know, what is so nasty? You have some washerwoman, they by the standpipe pulling a bucket of water, and they talking, and as the girl pass with she bucket, they say, oh God, look, she coming. Oh, hush, Susie, hush him out, Susie. Shh. God, hush him out. And when the girl reach, hey, Mary, you up there? How you going? You know, we missing you. Nice. Yeah. So what about them dirty fellas and them? They still in jail, and you telling them all your problem.
Yeah.
And the moment you full your bucket and you're gone.
And you're gone. All hell break loose.
No cheat at all.
She went there and take she man for herself.
I hear showing mashy up the last week.
Yeah, she went and take the man for herself, and then and because the father them get to find out, she crying rape. Yeah. She's a nasty little slut.
Yes, a nasty.
Nasty. She stink with herself.
And she dirty and nasty. She stink.
More hot than sweet.
And nobody want to marry her at all.
Yeah, more hot than sweet. Yeah.